Hi everyone, my name is Nitin Khanna. I'm the CEO of Mergertech Advisors, a global investment bank focused solely on small and mid-sized technology companies. Our mission is to enable these companies to realize the value of their business through mergers and acquisition. And really our goal is to help you convert your work into wealth. I'm here today to talk about 9 practices for doubling your revenue every year. And while I think you'll get a great amount of benefit from the practices if you implement them or at least think them through and see if they apply to your company, I think that maybe the more valuable thing here might be to understand the actual philosophy behind why high levels of revenue growth may be really good for your company, why they create a virtuous cycle in operations, and why they create a virtuous cycle in the best practices that your company follows. So the philosophy of understanding why good revenue growth and a high revenue growth is just as important as the practices that follow and create it. Of course, when I talk to a lot of CEOs, they tell me that how fast they can grow their companies is often a function of the products and services they offer, the industry they're in, the macro climate, whether we're in a recession or we're in a growth period, their sales staff, their sales management, the kind of salespeople they can afford to hire at that stage of their company. And all of that's completely true. So you may be able to say that, Nitin, as a function of all of those things, we can't double our revenue every year. But my point here is to adopt this as a philosophy that says that we will try to do that in our company despite the macroeconomic climate. And then to improve and measure all the facets of those 9 practices that allow us to do so, or that show us where we weren't successful one year so we can adopt them in a different year. When you put a lot of time and energy into driving revenue growth, into focusing on sales, you evangelize it to all your employees, you evangelize it when you're talking to people in your community and in your network and into your professional colleagues, and you really help get the whole company focused on selling, whether most people are considering themselves salespeople or not. Your people who are your delivery people, who are product and operations people, each focus on getting feedback to you that helps you grow the sales, that helps you grow your market. And that's really the benefit of saying, hey, we have a philosophy that tries to double our revenue every year, regardless of what the industry is doing. Then you start thinking about, well, what needs to happen inside my company to be able to deliver that? And what ends up happening as a small or mid-sized growth company is that you have a real sharp focus on delivery now. So here's now sales actually driving a better delivery and execution and thought process. So the first thing you will do is, oh my God, if I'm going to double next year, I better go talk to my banker. So net result of trying to double your revenue every year is that you start focusing more on critical relationships that allow you to do that. You start focusing on your processes. Again, if you're going to double every year, you're not a large company, you have to do more with fewer employees. You're like, how can the processes I have today support a doubling of the company? And so you start to refine your processes. You start to make them more efficient and more productive. You start professionalizing your sales force. Maybe if you were running without geographies or without quotas or without real metrics, all of a sudden you start thinking through, hey, how do I create a sales force and create a sales management system and create a sales follow-up system that will allow me to create this doubling of revenue every year. So if you'd like to get more information either about this topic on the practices and the philosophy behind doubling your revenue every year, or you just generally like to learn more about technology mergers and acquisitions, I highly recommend you go to our website at mergertech.com, and I thank you for your time and interest.